Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. And today I come back with another video which was requested by some of our YouTube, my YouTube community, and people asked me to make a video on this, and I really appreciate your feedback. Thank you so much for the love. Please drop in a like for all the videos, and if you really like my channel, please subscribe and do help me out there. Today I'm gonna focus on this topic that was brought to my notice, and I was willing to do this video because I think this is super helpful information that I seeked when I was applying. And this will actually focus on finding out your eligibility for filing naturalization if you're already in the United States, and also show you how to easily and quickly fill the form. Again, I am no lawyer. I'm just going to go through my experience. If you need additional help or additional resources, you need to reach out to those people if you have any specific criteria that you have in your process. So I'm just going to show you quick items that we need to keep in mind before you actually apply and go and fill the form N400. So stay tuned and check this out. The first and only resource that I relied on was, of course, the USCIS website. They give you actually everything that you need, but sometimes you need a little bit of knowledge, a little bit of help, and I'm just gonna quickly go through that process. Right, I'm not gonna go through every line of the form, but I'll give you like the pre-steps that you need to do before you actually start filling the form, or even if somebody else, if you have a legal person helping you fill out the form, you should still know all these things, right? So first and foremost, go to the USCIS website and go to their N400 application for naturalization page, and this is the link. You have to first you have to actually find out if you're really even eligible, right? So that's the first step. So you actually go and check your eligibility here. Determine my eligibility. So first of all, you need to answer these questions and say, were one of your parents born as a US citizen? So based on your answer, you hit yes or no. If you answer yes in that, you potentially already might be eligible to be a citizen. How old are you? Are you a member of the US Armed Forces? Are you a lawful permanent resident? So this is where, the criteria you have to determine based on what you qualify for. Again, so they directly know the date, and they calculate it. When did you become a lawful permanent resident? Based on today's date, they directly calculated everything and said, before 2017, I was actually honestly between this. So I add that. Are you married to a US citizen? Based on yes, no, you can say yes or no. Have you been married for 3 years or longer? Depending on what your answer is. Has your spouse been US citizen for 3 years and longer? Have you left the United States in the past 3 years? You can say yes, no. Have your trips been longer than 6 months in these past 3 years? Boom. So here you actually, based on the questions I answered, this was a mock, set of answers. Answer what you qualify for. It'll actually give you that you are qualified. So first step is you actually can apply. And then you go back and you can start even the application process. So for some reason, based on your answers, if you get, hey, you cannot apply, so potentially you don't even have a choice to apply at this stage. You might have to wait for certain things to happen. So that's step one. Step two, there are two ways to apply, right? Let me go back to that page. Let me go to start over. Eligibility is done, and then they give you kind of the 10 steps that you need, right? So I'm just going to go through these 10 steps. Determine if you're already a US citizen, right? Based on your answers, you can figure that out. Then, in that questionnaire itself, you kind of determine if you're actually eligible to apply. That's step two. Step three is you prepare the form. You can do that in two ways. You can either, physically download the form, print out all the documents like how I did and send it, or there's a new way of doing it, which is directly filing it online. I might go into filing it online as a separate process in another video, but for the sake of this, I am just going to show you a quick checklist of applying physically, like, printing out everything and then sending it by mail. So that's step 3. Step 4, again, you submit your form and you pay your necessary fees. And then even for your fees, there are separate, pages where you can see how much you have to pay. And if you're qualifying for any subsidy, if you're over 55 and older, I think. Then I think I covered this in my other video, but I'll just show you. Go to the biometric appointment. If you're called for, do not miss it. Then complete the interview, right? The interview that I talked about in my other videos, links in the description. Then wait for USCIS to grant your citizenship or continued based on, if you failed certain tests or even denied due to certain lack of evidence and maybe you are not eligible. Step 8, take the oath of allegiance and finish that, and you're one step closer. You receive the note to take it, and then you actually take it in step 9, and then you have to do certain things that's mentioned here. Complete the N445, which is the form for naturalization. Report that form on the day of naturalization and oath. Turn in your permanent green card. Take oath of allegiance and receive your naturalization certificate. Review it on that same, within the premises if you see any errors, because once you leave, it's a whole nother process. So make sure you do that. And then you understand citizenship. Then you read about rights and responsibilities, uphold the United States Constitution, and be a US citizen and take care of this country. So these are the steps, 10 steps to naturalization. And the only other thing that I can show you today is one more thing, which I think a lot of people asked questions around. The form itself, I'm not going to go into too much details into the form, and I'm just going to show you quickly the document checklist. And make sure always before you download the form, you download the latest form. So this is the edition date. So when you download the form, make sure this is the latest edition of this form. Where to file, this is super important, right? Obviously, if you file it online, of course, you don't have to mail it to any particular USCIS location. You do it online. If you mail it by paper, like how I did, then you have to follow this, right? So make sure all of these steps are read before you start applying. My state is Maryland, so you actually go and look out for your state. And this is the postal box for your state. And again, within that, there's another step, right? If you're applying through USPS, you send it to this address. And if you're applying through FedEx, UPS, or DHL, you apply to this location. Make sure you send your application to the right location, because if that happens, I think then you're pretty much delaying your process, potentially getting denied, etc., because they have so many applications and they don't like making mistakes. So if you live in any of these states, look into these addresses based on your postal service, and if you live in these states, you send it here. And if you live lastly in some of these states, you have an additional office that is in Chicago. Again, 2 addresses based on your postal service. And military members, of course, they get their own location. So if you're a military member, make sure you read through this and you apply to the right location. So that was the where to file. I'll quickly show you the filing fee. The filing fee is standard. It's $640 plus $85 for your biometrics. So the total adds up to $725. And you can pay through any form of payment. If you're applying online, you can pay through credit card or any other online payment method that they allow. And of course, if you're sending it through mail, you can again do personal check, money order, cashier's check, or by credit card. I think by using this form, they will actually deduct your uh, you know amount using XYZ information that you provide. That is the filing fee. And do give this a thumbs up if you liked it, and please reach out if you have any questions. But again, just as an FYI, I'm not in the law field or not a lawyer. I'm just fairly giving you an example of how I filled my own form, and I hope you guys like this video. So with that, I'll be signing off. Thank you so much. Take care and peace.